The Achaemenid Empire lasted from 550 to 330 BCE and stretched from Asia Minor to India. The government was organized as a feudal monarchy in Persia, with regional provinces controlled by governors who pledged their loyalty to the king. The economic groups were the royal sector, religious sector, and the private sector. The royal sector included the king, governors, and nobles. The religious sector included the priests and religious workers. The private sector included everyone else. There were no slaves. The land was the greatest source of wealth. The royal class administered the king's land, rented land to soldiers in the private sector that worked the land, and collected taxes from the population. The religious sector owned land with temples to various gods. A person's position or class in life was determined by the tribe they came from, their job, and how much land they were given to use. Cyrus II founded the empire and ruled from 550 to 530 BCE. He began as the king of Persia in what today is southwest Iran. He conquered an area that included Mesopotamia, Syria, and Asia Minor. Cyrus created a tax system and a common currency of silver and gold for the empire. Cyrus proclaimed the law known as the Charter of Rights of Nations that was written on a clay cylinder called Cyrus's Great Cylinder. It was the first charter of human rights because it abolished slavery and respected the religious freedom and cultural rights of the people. His charter also gave women the same rights as men. Cyrus was defeated trying to expand his empire into what is now known as Kazakhstan. Cyrus was killed in battle and his head cut off and dipped into blood as revenge for Cyrus killing a queen's son. Another well-known king was Darius I, who ruled from 522 to 486 BCE. Darius built and expanded a network of roads throughout the empire called the Royal Road. The Royal Road went from Sardis in western Turkey to Susa in Persia. It allowed people to travel from Persia to the Tigris and Euphrates River and then to ports on the Mediterranean. Darius also opened a canal connecting the Red Sea to the Nile that allowed ships to travel from the Red Sea to the Mediterranean. Darius expanded the empire to the Indus Valley in today's Pakistan. However, he failed twice trying to invade the Greek city-states and died before his third invasion attempt. Another famous king was Xerxes I, the son of Darius. He ruled from 486 to 465 BCE. Xerxes continued the invasion of Greece. His greatest achievement was transporting an army of more than 150,000 men across the Hellespont, a waterway separating Asia Minor from Europe. He built a bridge of boats so that his army could march to the Greek cities. Although he reached and burned down Athens, he lost most of his army and had to retreat to Persia. The primary crop of the empire was barley. The main domesticated animals were sheep, goats, and poultry. The main jobs were in agriculture, but others were merchants, traders, artisans making clothes, glass, pottery, dishware, tools and weapons, stonemen and masons in construction, and shepherds tending flocks. The main private sector industries were agriculture, construction, farming, fishing, and the mining of iron, silver, copper, and limestone. One of the main sources of revenue was taxes on trade. Imports to the empire included gold, ivory, and aromatic oil from India, turquoise precious stones and Siberian gold from the Asian steppes, silk from the southern Urals, and olive oil, wine, and ceramics from the Greeks. Exports included pottery, wool, pearls, and grains. Phoenician cities also exported dye and glass dishware throughout the Mediterranean and wine to Africa. The religion was mainly polytheistic, with people worshipping their local gods. The Persian rulers were influenced by a philosopher and prophet named Zoroaster, who preached that people should only speak the truth, had a choice between good and bad, and should choose a righteous and ethical life. The philosophy favored the God of wisdom and preached the existence of an afterlife where a person's good deeds are weighed against their bad deeds. The architecture of the empire consisted of buildings with columns supporting a roof with flutes as decoration. They used frieze reliefs on buildings and walls, and they also used glazed brick masonry. Examples of this architecture can be seen at Pasargad, the Tombs of Kings, and the Ishtar Gate in Istanbul Archaeology Museum. The arts included pottery, fine metal tableware, jewelry, seal cuttings, and decorative designs on weaponry. The roles and positions of women in the empire were equal. Men and women were allowed to have the same jobs, opportunities, and wages. The laws of ownership and inheritance applied equally to men and women. Alexander the Great crossed the Hellespont in 334 BCE and invaded the empire. In 333 BCE, Alexander defeated Darius III in battle and eventually conquered the rest of the empire.